Hey, bosses, we are on day 9 of our Resilience Reboot today, y'all. I'm excited. We are going to be talking about adaptability. And where this comes from is I am currently in the process of writing content. I'm putting together a live that I'm going to be doing on LinkedIn, and it is around a fixed versus flexible mindset. And this is really for leaders. This is something that I've taught in other organizations that I've worked with and worked for. And so I wanted to share this publicly online on LinkedIn Live over probably in the next week. I'll be putting it out there for everyone to see. But this is something that comes up often in organizations. And what I find is that most people, just by nature, we are very resistant to change. And although it may not necessarily show externally, most of the time, our initial response when it comes to any type of change that may happen, or any type of disruption that may happen in the workplace, that may happen in our own personal lives, we have a way that we're going to respond. And there's typically going to be a natural way that we all respond to it. And what I am teaching leaders, what I am teaching in some organizations is that there's a whole process. There's a way that can help you be able to manage how you respond versus react to change as they arise, because they will arise, right? Change is inevitable. And so what I want us to talk about today for day 9 is establishing a flexible mindset. All right. So leaders with a continuous learning mindset typically are about 47% more likely to navigate change successfully and adapt to new challenges, which can help reduce stress, according to the Harvard Business Review. So my question is to you, if you were to really be honest with yourself, how do you typically respond or react to change? Ask yourself that. When you think about a change in maybe your organizational structure, maybe you're in a process where you have to report to someone differently, or maybe now you have a new team. How do you respond to changes in family dynamics? I know for me personally, one of the things that really comes to mind is when I first became a mother, how my life changed and how it was very difficult for me to navigate that change with my first child versus when I had my second child. Like, there were some things that I had to mentally go through, right? And we all experience these things, right? We all experience it because life be life in at times, right? So what I'm going to share with you is a very simple thing that I want you to do for today. When we talk about establishing a flexible mindset, this is basically a mindset that helps you to be able to adapt more quickly, right? I want you to find one new thing you can learn about today. Okay. And what I mean, finding one new thing that you can learn about today, that means if there is a particular subject, let's say at work, you may be in a particular industry, there's a subject that often comes up that you hear others talking about, and maybe you just haven't had time to really get into it. You haven't really had an opportunity to really dive into that subject. I want you to take some time to just simply go through and read an article about it, right? Learn something new about maybe a skill that you just desire to have. You haven't really had time to really scratch the surface and learn about it. Go and research that article and take about 20 minutes to just read and learn more about that particular thing. Another way that I've been able to um, incorporate this more in my personal life is I am trying to be more intentional about doing this with my children and doing this with like my spouse. So for example, with my husband, his favorite team is not necessarily my favorite team. And so I don't really know a lot about this team. So one of the things, as I was pulling this content together, what I said I was going to do was I'm just going to try to learn a little bit more about his team, like his sport, right? The thing that he really enjoys watching, what he enjoys doing. I feel like I did it when I was trying to get him, but I don't think I really taken the time to really stay up to, to remain current on that particular subject. And same with my kids. My son, he loves soccer. And so I did not come up playing soccer. And so that's something that I'm like, you know what? Let me just research. Let me just try to learn a little bit more about that. Or it could even be maybe another country, right? Like whatever it is, maybe one of your team members is from a particular country and you don't really know much about that particular country. Take some time today to just learn one thing about that country, right? To help expand your learning and your thinking and your perspective, right? So that's one thing I want you to do. The second thing I want you to do is stay connected with me, because again, over within the next week, I don't have that specific date yet, but within the next week, I will be hosting live a I'll be sharing with you how can you establish a flexible mindset, and it really is called a change mindset. This is something that I really, I know it's going to be beneficial to you as a leader in terms of how you're navigating different changes and disruptions that may happen in your day-to-day life. So I want you to do those two things: find something new that you can learn today, and also stay connected with me. Over the next week, I will be sharing with you my process and my framework for how I've been able to teach others how to navigate change. So tune in with me, and I will see you guys tomorrow for day 9.